What's the big deal then? What's the big deal? So who cares if somebody's masturbating to porn? What's the big problem?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to answer that question.
And you're going to have to keep it short. So
yeah. For me, one of the things that the Lord had to show me, I list about like 5 different reasons on the why I don't watch porn anymore. There's like probably like 15 or 20 reasons why I don't watch porn anymore, but the primary reason I don't watch porn anymore is because Jesus is better than porn. And the thing that ultimately brought me out of my addiction, it wasn't that my future wife, I was cheating on my future wife. It wasn't that someday it actually might be affecting my ability to like have intimacy with her. It wasn't that, I'm participating in the exploitation of women when I watch porn. It wasn't that majority of women who are you're watching perform in porn videos are actually being trafficked. All those are great reasons. But the primary reason and the thing that broke me out of my addiction was that it broke the Lord's heart. Jesus, it broke his heart. And I had a dream in November 2015 where that came alive to me. I'll share the dream real quick. This came after I had this dream in November 2015. It was after I was addicted to porn for 5 years. It was after I'm trying my hardest not to watch it anymore, and I'm just failing. And then what happened was I had about 2 months of freedom where I thought I beat it. I thought I beat the addiction. I hadn't masturbated in 2 months, hadn't watched porn, and I went home for the very first time for Thanksgiving break. It's after I moved out of my parents' home. I went home and I just got punched in the face by the enemy. I ended up watching porn and masturbating every day that I was home for Thanksgiving break. And it just crushed me, absolutely crushed me, because it basically took my fight out of me, because I had been really fighting hard for a while and I thought I had done it, and then I just got punched in the face.
But how is it you could be so opposed to something, so aware of what it's doing? Well, you're getting to the awareness part of what it's doing to the Lord, but how can you be so opposed to something and yet still so caught up in it, such that it would become a daily habit like that?
Yeah, because I think it's much more than a daily habit. What I was dealing with was an addiction to pornography and masturbation. There's I didn't write this book as an expert on the science behind of what goes on, but they say that it takes 3 exposures to porn to become addicted. The third time I ever watched porn, I also figured out how to masturbate, so I had an orgasm at the same time, which basically locked me in to this 5-year addiction, where it was just a double whammy. And so, yeah, you asked the question, how could I just keep doing what I hated? That is the nature of an addiction. If you keep on doing something that you don't want to do, you're probably addicted to it. That's actually a good indication. Maybe you're asking yourself, am I addicted to this or that? How do I know? Well, do you do it even though you don't want to do it? There was a time when I realized I was addicted, it shifted. I was doing what I wanted to do for a while. Midway through my sophomore year, I was in the midst of a sexual relationship, and it went from me liking what I was doing to I don't want to do this anymore. And oh my gosh, now I can't stop. Once I realized that's when I realized I had an addiction. So come to the end of those 5 years, I get slammed at Thanksgiving break. I come back to Branson, Missouri, where I was doing a discipleship program, just so honestly discouraged, so crushed. And I remember praying to the Lord, saying, Lord, I just gave everything that I had, and I couldn't do it. I guess I'm just going to be addicted for the rest of my life. Maybe I'll be able to manage it, but I guess I'm just going to be addicted, and because I can't beat it. And if I'm going to be free, it's going to be because you did something, not me. And it was about 2 days after that I had this dream that changed my life forever. And in the dream, I was walking hand in hand with my future spouse. Sometimes people ask me, oh, who was it? And it wasn't like that. Like, I don't know who it was. But in the dream, I knew that it was my future spouse. And we were like talking. We were, just enjoying each other. And kind of out of the blue, this dirty, homeless guy who had lived on the street kind of comes up to us, confronts us, stops us in our tracks. And I'm like, what's going on? What in the world is this? He points at my wife in the dream, and he says, I want to have sex with your wife. And when he said that in the dream, I got angry. I was like, no way are you going to touch my wife. And I start shoving this guy, right? I'm like, you're never going to touch her. That's not who she is. She's never going to go with you. She's my wife. I'm her husband, pushing this guy back. After about 8 or 10 seconds of doing this in the dream, I turned back to my wife because I just honestly wanted just a confirmation from her, that this is what she wanted me to do. And I turned to her and I was like, you don't want to go with him, do you? And she just looked at me with this straight face. And she goes, actually, Nathan, I do. And whenever she said that in the dream, I was shocked, and I began to just weep in the dream. And I couldn't believe that my wife willingly wanted to go with this man off the street who just wanted to steal her away. And I fell to the ground, and I just bawled my eyes out, and I watched as this man who didn't belong to my wife just came and picked her up and walked off into the abyss, left me basically on the side of the road just bawling and with my heart broken. Well, so I wake up from the dream, and it was like in the movies. I woke up, I was panting, I was sweating, and really as soon as I sat up in my bed, the Lord spoke to me about two things right when I woke up, and he said, Nathan, whenever you turn to porn and masturbation over me, I just gave you an illustration of what it's like. It's like whenever your wife in the dream chooses to go with the homeless man over you, her husband. And I was like, wow, Lord, that's crazy. But what he said second was just the most powerful thing. He said, Nathan, whenever you do that, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when you do it because I love you so much. And I wouldn't let anybody touch you, but you can willingly let them touch you. And it's hard for me to describe sometimes when I share that dream, you have to understand, I felt with all my senses the emotions of the Lord through the dream. I felt it it wasn't just right now you guys are hearing it. And even now, Holy Spirit, I'm asking that you would help us to feel it like you helped me feel it. But it was more than I heard it. I saw it and I felt the emotions of the Lord. He gave me, I believe he gave me a glimpse of what he feels whenever we sin against him, whenever we choose sexual immorality, whatever form it is. It really, really breaks his heart. So there's a lot of reasons why it's harmful to us to not watch porn, or to watch porn and to masturbate. But really the only thing that could save me was a glimpse of the Father's heart towards me. And it was November 2015 was whenever I had that dream, and that was the last time I watched porn and masturbated, either one. For me, in my journey, those things went hand in hand. I wouldn't really ever masturbate without porn, so I kind of use those interchangeably. I recognize some people just do one or the other, but